Hello fellow humans, and I want to talk about the biggest mistakes that Wargaming have made in World of Tanks Blitz. Obviously, if you have some to add to this, put them in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's start off, obviously, with the most immediate thing, and that is both the Smasher and the Annihilator. Two vehicles that should not be released the way they are, and that probably won't be adjusted anytime in the future, and that continue to ruin Tier 7 matchmaking. These two vehicles have definitely been a mistake to release them in their current form. And unfortunately, this thing hasn't been changed yet. But now, let's go back all the way to a different time. And that goes all the way back to 2017, one of the most dangerous and threatening updates that Wargaming has ever released to World of Tanks Blitz. That is the new equipment system. Well, it's obviously not new anymore, 5 years ago. However, previously, World of Tanks Blitz used the World of Tanks PC system. Now, in this, it wasn't like it is now. Obviously, they undid this mistake. However, this was still a thing. Now, you can unlock them with credits immediately. However, previously, you couldn't. There was a new currency that was called spare parts that you could earn in battles, missions, and in-game events. However, they were pretty hard to actually earn. The equipment slots are still the same, and you obviously have the 9 equipment slots. That's still a thing there. And then, if you unlock a slot, equipment becomes available after a certain period of time. The timer's duration depends on the vehicle's tier and equipment level. 21 days is what it took to fully equip a tier 10. You could obviously skip it with gold. However, it took you almost a month to fully equip a tier 10 without spending gold on the equipment and while having to use the spare parts. This was undoubtedly one of the dumbest ideas that Wargaming has ever had. And luckily, it has been undone, and then now this problem no longer persists. However, it took almost a year for this to be completely fixed. Now we jump forward a bit, but still 4 years ago with update 5.5, and the damage of this thing has not been undone, and it has wreaked absolute havoc on the player quality of World of Tanks Blitz ever since. This thing, basically what happened here in 5.5 is that a lot of low-tier vehicles were removed from the tech tree, which means that there's a lot easier to get from low tiers to higher tiers. It's a lot more streamlined. You can grind tanks a lot faster, which pushes a lot of absolutely horrible players even faster up to tier 10. And the game quality has certainly deteriorated after this update. Obviously, that can also be due to simply more players joining and it being less about just tank enthusiasts and more casuals. Those two things could be happening at the same time. However, it is very definitely clear that this update has made the game a worse place. And unfortunately, this has not been undone. And it still remains as it is. You can still play those vehicles as collectors. However, tech trees are forever ruined. And we continue on with the ATGMs, which luckily have been removed from the regular battles as well. And it took them again almost a year to realize the full extent of their mistake and remove it. And even today, the Sheridan missile is still in place, which means this absolutely horrible thing that happened here is still not completely undone. However, luckily the ATGMs were removed from the regular battles. And however, unfortunately, Shadow Missile still persists and should certainly be removed from the game to completely get rid of this absolute farce that the ATGMs were. Now, the release of ATGMs naturally influenced the game balance, but during the year we've managed to balance the vehicles in a certain way. However, numbers don't reflect the emotions that frequently appear when encountering missiles in battle. Yeah, this is basically... yeah, we couldn't bear it anymore. You cost us money because people were so mad they stopped spending things in Blitz. Because that's how you stop this, right? One of the biggest reasons why 3.8 was finally undone is because a lot of high-profile players stopped spending money. Vote with your wallet. If things like this is going on, vote with your wallet. Stop spending money, because only if they lose money, they will change. 3.8 has been undone because people voted with their wallet. Right, and that has to continue as well. Unfortunately, the next one is the contrary. and that is one of the most despicable and consumer-unfriendly things to have ever been invented, and that is online gambling in the form of crates. This is also underage online gambling, because Blitz is obviously available to people 13 and above. Crates are designed to be an inherently bad value, and given that Wargaming is also this for even releasing crates, they will not go away, unfortunately, because people do not understand how crates work. People will continue to buy them, and again, Wargaming knows if people vote with their wallet, people buy the crates, which means Wargaming will continue to sell them, and this will unfortunately never go away unless countries step up, like Belgium already has, and ban this absolutely shady tactic from video games, as it should be. Another not-so-amazing ideas were raiding battles, but at least they're somewhat trying to fix that, and it's not an immediate problem, but raiding battles aren't really working that well, to be honest, either. And the next one, in the terms of, yeah, maybe could have been done better, are the gun sounds. This is not like a massive, crazy mistake. However, the new gun sounds are horrible. However, at least Wargaming is working on changing them, so credits for that, at least. However, they lose all credibility, all goodwill by selling crates. The most recent one is that the transfer of RU players to the EU server. Now, this could have been very easily avoided, and they have actually done that in World of Tanks PC. Let's have a look at that. This is how that works. In World of Tanks PC, what they essentially made is they made new EU servers, EU3 and EU4, where the transferred players were put onto to make it more comfortable and avoid disruptions to live game for both new and existing EU players. For now, transfer players will not be able to select EU1 and EU2. Now, why that hasn't been done in Blitz, I don't know. However, it is definitely extremely painful because the amount of bad players and also chat spam has significantly increased, which is very unfortunate. So I would have loved to see something like this. This would have been a great option to just make a separate EU server. However, if that might not be possible due to network or simply allocation problems, that obviously World of Tanks PC has a lot bigger budget. However, for World of Tanks Blitz, this has not gone well at all. It is absolutely not pretty what is going on at the moment, and I hope that Wargaming will fix this problem soon, and ideally make a separate EU server where the new arrivals are being put, because obviously the gameplay and also the chat culture is significantly different, and in my opinion, it is incompatible with the way that EU was functioning as of now. And an honorable mention goes to whoever thought this was a good idea to put into World of Tanks Blitz, because I mean, for Wargaming's wallet it's great, for the credibility of the game, it is not. So, what do you think? Put it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. See you next one. Goodbye.